All right, so there have been a few questions on the discussion forum about blogs and about web content writing and SEO based off of last week's course material. And so I wanted to take a few minutes and just kind of walk you guys through a couple examples of good SEO, good blog content use versus a local site. Both the sites I'm going to show you are going to be local Kalispell sites. One that uses these features and one that really doesn't have a web presence. And I want to kind of explain some of the differences I can see here. So there's two. One local business is the Kalispell Brewery that's going to be opening up in the spring. I've been interested in and following along with, and the other one is a place that my wife and I order takeout about, oh, I don't know, maybe once a month at the most, and that's Charlie Wong's. And so I want to go through here and show you some differences and how SEO and content writing can really pull you right to the top of those search results if you're doing it carefully. Again, it's not you're not doing the SEO just for the sake of pulling yourself to the search results. Obviously, that's an added benefit. You're engaging, at least from the perspective of this course, you're engaging in good content writing for the sake of creating a conversation with your potential website visitors, but you also managed a great marketing feat at the same time, and that's the process of bringing your site up to the forefront of the search results. In a local market like we have in Kalispell, Montana, or any other small town, even in a larger city, in some venues, but you have the ability to pull your site up by thinking about these keywords and researching these keywords. So let's take a look here. This first one, I did a search for, the first thing I did was a search for beer, Kalispell, Montana, as you can see here. And so, oh, let me try that again. And so with this search, I was curious what would come up. I didn't know what would come up, but I had a hunch based on reading around some websites today and checking them out. The first thing you can see is that within the top five results, two of them have to do with the Kalispell Brewing Company. And if you take another one here, Montana Breweries, which Kalispell Brewing actually also shows up. And then this one up here is a Yelp review. Yelp is pretty good at moving their search results when you're searching for food and beverage up to the top. And then down here is another Montana beer finder that has Kalispell Brewing right in it. Now, all I did was search beer in Kalispell. This is a business that hasn't even opened in the valley yet. And their exact opening date isn't even mentioned or currently known. But as we can see here, top five, they basically, other than the Yelp, which maybe even if we went in and we looked at the Yelp, we would see that maybe they're in there somewhere. But the top five, they're every single one. Now, let's go ahead and clear this and go over the same page and look at, I did a search for Chinese restaurants in Kalispell. Again, I'm looking for Charlie Wong's. For those of you who know, um, Charlie Wong's is out here in Evergreen. There's actually another one down here south of town somewhere, maybe even a little further south. But as you can see here, the Alley Connection showed up, and another one. And I'm pointing this out because the Chinatown restaurant, and then I think this is up here. This is probably Hoo Hot. Yeah. I'm pointing this out only because as a consumer, I know that I want to access Charlie Wong's, but if you take a look here, I'm getting a Yellow Page ad. I'm getting a Yelp ad, which I could bury into, and we will here in a minute. Urban Spoon. These are all restaurant review sites. TripAdvisor. Oh, Charlie Wong's TripAdvisor. Okay, so it is popping up right here. So as you can see, even when I know the local business that I'm seeking out, it's a lot harder when the web presence isn't pretty well established. Again, this web presence in popping up in the top five search results are primarily a basis of web content writing. And so then let's take a look here. If we do a specific search for Charlie Wong's, I'll clear out those last edits. Again, I end up with the same stuff. I do get a Google Plus account with 9 reviews. I get Charlie Wong's Urban Spoon, Charlie Wong's Urban Spoon, TripAdvisor, basically the same results when I do a search for the exact restaurant that I'm looking for. And so then when I click on the restaurant here, on the Urban Spoon one, you can see here, it's interesting, I do find a phone number. This is a good start, but it's still not coming from the actual business themselves. And so this is an opportunity where a local Chinese company, Chinese food company, or business could easily move their standing or their ranking right up to the top. And so then I can read the reviews here. I know at one of these sites, I don't think it was this one, I ended up finding, let's see if it's the other one, TripAdvisor maybe. I ended up finding a menu link, but it was somebody who had taken a picture of the menu with their smartphone. And so not a whole lot of marketing by Charlie Wong's. I consider them to be one of the better Chinese restaurants in town. So again, now let's go over and look at the Kalispell Brewing one. If you look at the Kalispell Brewing site, we come here and let's kind of immerse ourselves in the conversation. I'm not going to go through it all with you, but they give you a nice welcome message. They have how to define the brewery. Again, this is for business that hasn't opened yet. At the bottom of every single page, we have a phone number, we have the address, we have information. When we search for Kalispell breweries specifically, their logo pops up. They have a nice presence. Their Facebook page is right up there at the top, along with their website. And then as we toggle through, this is where the blog comes in. Obviously, they have their normal kind of links that you would see at the top of a site like this, but then news and events. Now, news and events in this case is run more like a blog than anything else. And this is where, in a blog, some of the benefits that come about from a blog are a few. Number one is that you have the opportunity to have lots of conversations. So let's go down here and take a look. So defining breweries. So this is, how do people measure the size of a brewery? Well, I never knew this, but this is obviously by the barrels. What do we really, we want you, we really do. And so this is, if we start clicking into some of these and we start looking around, we can see that they have links here and they have some information. This is what they want their site viewers, the activity they want their site viewers engaged in, defining. And this goes, obviously continues down. So anytime something is happening, interesting, they're putting that information up. Now, this blog happens to be an embedded aspect of their actual website, which is what a lot of businesses are now doing. But more than likely, at least for the business owner on the business side, this would be a very easy editable text item. And every time they created a new blog entry per se, it would just pop up on this page as the newest event. And so this is obviously where the new blog entry would appear above this one as they were continuing to add on. In order to manage this, you do not need to be a web developer. You don't need to know a whole lot of HTML. You basically want to go in there and you spend some time talking to your customers. Again, as we've been discussing, everything on a page like this is all about the conversation. This is where businesses have the ability to talk to customers. So I hope that gives you guys a little bit of idea. I have a lot more that I can say about this and I want to go into, but I'm already almost to a 10-minute video, so I'm going to cap it there. But I hope that helped give you guys some kind of tangible examples.